It seems since Melee, there's been a rule thrown around that the 12 characters from the original Smash Bros. Are immune to being cut for any reason, at any point in time. I've searched quite a bit for any article where Sakurai confirms such a rule, but I've never found anything. So this seems to be a headcanon. So how about we get to busting it? First, I want to note that almost all of these characters are safe for the foreseeable future, but not because of appearing in the original. It's more because of the reasons they appeared in the original. Let's take a step back and look at these 12 characters, and what I'm saying will probably make sense. First, we have Mario, the video game icon, Nintendo's biggest breadwinner. They could keep cranking out uninspired games and slapping Mario in the title, and they'd be set forever. Mario is an ever-enduring character across each generation. My nieces and nephew don't play that many video games, but they know Mario and like him for his iconic, approachable design. He is undoubtedly safe, barring some hypothetical disaster that leaves him toxic. Then we have Luigi, Mario's brother, who arguably is more popular, despite appearing less often than his brother. For much the same reason as Mario, he is safe. Next, Donkey Kong, the gorilla introduced alongside Mario, who has a very successful series of games of his own up there with Mario. As one of Nintendo's biggest stars, he is safe. Link is another safe bet, considering Zelda is another of Nintendo's oldest and most enduring franchises. Plus, the Zelda games are really popular with the ladies. Samus started her career on the NES, and her franchise became one of Nintendo's go-tos for many years before a hiatus. The B-tier bounty hunter pioneered the Metroidvania type of gameplay, and her franchise is still going strong, even if somewhat lacking in direction. She's safe for the foreseeable future. However, in the distant future, she could face the axe if she becomes completely irrelevant. Captain Falcon might seem unsafe considering Nintendo oversaturated the GBA with 3 spiritual successors to the much less popular gameplay of the original SNES game, removing many of the familiar characters. This led to the final F-Zero game being Japan only and selling abysmally, selling just over 5,000 copies at launch. I don't think they've realized exactly how the failure of those 3 games was not because of a loss of interest in the IP. So since Captain Falcon is more well known for Smash Bros., why would he be safe? Yes, because to many, he is the star of Smash Bros. Some people even seem to think he was created for Smash Bros. So with the meme-tastic Falcon Punch, he may actually be the safest character. Yoshi is one of the most adored Mario characters, instantly gaining favor with his first appearance, and even getting his own franchise, sometimes free of Mario. Yoshi is definitely part of Nintendo's core and is safe. Kirby is another of Nintendo's most iconic stars. You can't get a much more clean, simplified design, and he has a legacy of games only outdone by Mario. He is safe. Plus, as long as Sakurai has any say, his pink baby will always be first in line. Star Fox isn't an A or even B tier franchise anymore, but the N64 version spawned so many memes and is so fondly remembered as one of the N64's most iconic games. Fox is probably safe. Now let's get to Ness. I've waited until now because he is one of the most likely to get cut, but not for a while. He appeared in a single obscure game of iffy success, but it was called Status. His inclusion originally was the strangest, and considering the entire franchise has reached its conclusion, his relevance will only continue to fade. Nintendo seems set to re-release the games and keep him as relevant as possible. But how long can he stay relevant? And he isn't quite as iconic as Falcon. Ness could fade away one day when Mother is lost to time. I'd like to address Pikachu and Jigglypuff together, because they are in the same boat. Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon, one of Nintendo's most popular franchises and the star of the anime. Jigglypuff was an anime guest star, and that is the only reason he was added, to be bluntly honest. Like Ness, out of the hundreds of Pokemon, Jigglypuff could fade away as those who grew up with the anime stopped playing. However, both of these Pokemon share another risk of being cut. Pokemon is a second-party franchise. Nintendo doesn't own Pokemon outright. Nintendo currently owns a controlling share in the company who owns Pokemon. If Nintendo sold the Pokemon Company, they would have no rights to any of the Pokemon, and Pikachu would be in serious danger of not returning. You might say, but Nintendo wouldn't sell Pokemon, right? You wouldn't think, but not many thought they would sell Rare until shortly before it happened. The reason they haven't absorbed the Pokemon Company or taken the rights to the franchise in-house, maybe because they plan to sell it if the franchise ever looks to be seriously declining. Until the Pokemon Company is fully absorbed, this is a terrifying risk. Nevertheless, for the time being, these characters are safe. Nintendo seems keen on bringing all of the veterans back, and most likely this DLC will carry over to at least the very next Smash Bros. Through this DLC, the only characters at risk may be second-party IPs Nintendo does not own, like Pokemon.